Okay, here we are, another progress update. As you can see, I've almost completed my drop ceiling. Looks pretty good. I like it. I've also added these chandelier type lights directly over the bar. Was not in the original idea, but if I continue with the plan that I had before, it was going to be way over budget. I've also added these 4-inch recess lighting over here. There was no lighting, so this is new. I decided to go with the 4-inch as opposed to what you see over there, over here, which is 6-inch. I actually like these better. These are more modern, so I went with the different look over here. So a lot of work has been done. Still a lot of work to do. Today I'm going to paint both sides of this chair rail molding here. 2 different tones of gray, light on top, dark on the bottom. We are certainly making progress. That side, as I stated in my last video, is virtually done. Everything I needed to do over there is done. And one of the hardest things I've had to do is actually this. Run my wires as I had them on the other side. Put them in a junction box and get ready to hang my TV. Now let me show you guys something which is what made this job so complicated. First and foremost, the way it's supposed to be done is each stud is supposed to be spaced out 16 inches apart. What made this particular job a little more complicated is the fact that between the studs there lies insulation, which are stapled onto the studs. To run my wires, I had to get the stud out of the way. And of course, with this hole here, I was able to fit my hand into it and move a good portion of it by hand. I did it on both sides, the top and bottom, and was able to move, again, a good portion of it by hand. The problem I encountered was my hands were not long enough to reach top to bottom. So somewhere in the middle, there was still installation I had to move in order to run my wires through top to bottom. What I had to do was use a piece of the cross tee. I bent it in order for it to fit into this small hole and was able to actually move the rest of the installation. I did it for both sides, top and bottom, and then my space was clear. What you see here is 2 HDMI cables, my monster wire, and a 14-2 wire, which I'm gonna connect for my outlets. So that's how I was able to do that. It wasn't an easy feat at all. Now, to run my monster wires, I actually had to use a sheetrock knife. Put the knife into the drywall, spin it around, and just to make a little circle so I could fish my monster wires through. And as I did that, I entered the wire from the circle and pushed it upwards, ran it on top of the drop ceiling all the way down to the bottom portion. That's where my receiver is gonna go. Now, of course, I have 2 front speakers, so I had to use this method twice on this side, and I have 2 rear speakers So I had to, it's a little easier on the other side to run these wires. And yeah, I know these days sound bars are available without any of these connections necessary, and they give you just as good of a stereo surround sound. But I spent a good money on this system a couple years back, and I don't feel I've gotten my money's worth yet. So at some point in the future, I'll change it. But for now, this is what it is. So again, thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you on the next one.